Treasurer Jim Chalmers has promised cost of living relief for millions of Australians despite national debt sitting in the red. Will last-minute cash splash sway voters when we know this campaign is going to matter more than most? Holly Stearnes is in Melbourne's Bayside speaking with locals about what they want to see today. Holly, what's the sentiment there?
Laura, to be honest, it's a real sense of a lack of hope at the moment, that there's a real sense of despair. It's no surprise to any of us that cost of living is front of mind for all of the people who are living in this electorate. Mortgage belts, not just here in Victoria, but right across Australia. We're in Frankston this morning. It's a federal electorate of Dunkley. And this matters today because it's a real mortgage belt. More people living here are mortgage holders than the national average, and many of them are suffering negative cash flow at the moment. Many of them struggling with the cost of living, also the interest rates at the moment, and if they're not struggling with that, they're struggling to get into the market and struggling to survive at the moment. Now, Treasurer Jim Chalmers again this morning doubling down that this budget will be a meaningful one for those who are struggling with cost of living pressure at the moment, that there will be substantial support for them with this last minute cash splash essentially. But locals I've been speaking with this morning say that that's just a band-aid fix, that won't necessarily fix the core of the problem, and that they want to see more fiscal leadership and greater fiscal leadership to lead us through and out of this tough economic time. Now, of course, we heard as well from Angus Taylor. He was saying that there's a real decline in the standard of living at the moment. And I can tell you from the people I've been speaking with today, every single one of them has echoed that same sentiment. Here's some of those people I caught up with.
The cost of living is always on everybody's minds, and especially someone like me who's sort of 15 years off retirement and stuff, going, oh, do I have enough? Am I going to be able to pay everything off? Am I going to be able to cover out the mortgage and things like that? I'd like the world to get its stuff together and really start coming back to the heart of humanity and starting to come back to the heart of who we are and looking after each other a little bit better.
My feeling is they're just throwing money at people instead of fixing the problem that's caused the problem in the first place.
Of course, earlier in the week, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced that $150 energy relief bill, and that has become favourable for people who are living here. But then the Coalition, of course, announced that they would match that too. Now, there are some concerns around government spending and then how, in conjunction with that, we can keep inflation down. So that is also a concern with people I've been speaking with here. But this particular electorate matters a lot in this upcoming federal election, that because it's a Labor vulnerability at the moment. Now, it's important to note that Peter Dutton will have his eyes firmly set on securing this seat here. Now, in the 2024 by-election, it also swung towards the Liberals too, and that by-election, of course, was triggered by the passing of Peter Murphy. So all eyes will be set on electorates and mortgage belts like this one.